Hi, I'm Heather Tank. First of all, I would like to say that my good friends Shay Doncaster, Robert Williams and Brian Deans, I told them I was going to be wearing a bikini when I was painting today. And I don't think I've let them down. Today we're going to be looking at negative space. Small to large makes a difference, and what I mean by that is if we look at I've just done one on a small canvas. It doesn't look anything crash hot. However, I've got a painting here that I've done which actually hangs in my lounge room. Just going to make sure I don't get paint on it. On a larger scale, this is a 16 by 20 in a floating frame. It's quite amazing the difference it makes when you transfer something onto a large canvas. I always practice on small cheap ones first. I can't afford to go use big canvases and try things out that way. Less is more is the thing that we need to remember, and I have so much trouble with that. Let's hope I get it right today. If you want negative space, then less is more. We're mixing today our paint. 1 part paint, 1 part Floetrol, approximately 1 part water. Remember, these things are approximate. With the Semco paint, I've got a tube here. You buy that from Spotlight. It is so thin that it's already running out. You have to, look, it's coming, I'm not even squeezing. It is just so thin. So a small amount of Floetrol, small amount of water, and add it very carefully, a bit at a time. That's about the only paint that I've found that is really, really thin. Now my water I've talked about. I've pre-mixed all of my paints except for one, which I'll show you, and consistency is what it's all about. I don't measure or weigh anything, I eyeball things. Your hands and your eyes will learn when it feels right. Now, I forgot to talk about the water in the beginning. The water that I use is either filtered tap water, distilled water, or rainwater. Straight tap water, there's lots of chemicals in it that can affect your painting in the future. The colours I'm using today are, the first base I've got here is the white, and that's a Chromacryl, and that is 1 part paint, one part Floetrol, 1 part water. Now I made them a while ago, so I'm just going to check their consistency. We just want it to run off the end of the stick with maybe 1 to 2 second mound left in the cup. The other colour I'm using is a Global, so I'm using all different brands today, but that doesn't matter as long as my consistency is the same. If you can see that. That looks to me like it's thickened up a little bit. Just going to add a tad of water to that. Give it a mix. Sometimes if they sit for a while, they thicken up. That's better. It just runs off like a stream, but it still leaves a tiny mound. I'm happy with that. Then I'm using Creative Artist Collection Cadmium Yellow. Once again, it's been sitting for a while, and that one just seems to be running beautifully off the stick. I don't need to do anything to that. I also use house paint as a base with only a tiny bit of Floetrol and water because its consistency is usually quite good already. I've taped the back of the canvas just using frog tape. You get that from any hardware store. So now straight into it. Pouring our white base. You can use any colour. It does not have to be white. Make sure we've got enough. We want to cover the edges. In a moment we'll mix, I'll show you how I'm going to mix the scarlet. Just hold your hands on the corners, help save a bit of paint. And if you haven't got enough, you simply add a bit more. And of course, if you use the right base down here, you can use that paint that's left to make your bracelets or whatever you want to do with it, or a dip. Dips are always wonderful. And the other thing you need handy, of course, is a towel to wipe your hands. I'm a bit of a pig when it comes to paint. Now, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to torch for any bubbles, eyeball it. Sometimes I get bits of gunk from the Floetrol mostly. Always have a pair of tweezers handy to get that out. If your heat gun or your torch hasn't popped your bubbles, use skewer to pop any excess bubbles that decide they want to be stubborn. Now, the less is more bit. Small amount of colours, and I'm going to do a flip, and there's lots of way that people do flips. A lot of people don't put the base down first. I've chosen to. And I think this is a Montmartre. It is, yes. Just get me another cup, please. Hasn't been used for a while, so I've got a few gunky bits. So I'm going to start that one again. Right, there's our 1 part paint. I'm going to eyeball 1 part Floetrol. Before I put my water in, I'm going to stir it just in case I don't need water. As I said, all paints are a different consistency. It won't make any difference to the outcome of your painting. And it does, you can see that that's not running off the stick. So let's add a bit of water, a bit at a time. You know, at the end of the day, if you make it too thin, you simply add more paint. You have to learn not to worry. There's always a solution to these things. Well, I'd be happy with a tiny bit more water in that one. Oh, that's pretty good. Running off the stick, making a little mound. Yep, happy with that one. So, cup. Less is more. The first colour that you put in will be the last colour to come out. Now I've chosen to put yellow. Just a tiny bit. Orange. Tiny bit. Scarlet. Tiny bit. I don't have a lot in that cup. but I'm still concerned it might be too much. Let's have a look and see. And I'm deciding whether I'll give it a stir, which I've decided I will, and also add a little bit of paint from Up High to break up some of those colours a little bit. I might give it another quick cross in the middle. And my flip cut technique, I've already got paint on there, is to simply go like that. The other way, of course, I'll just get a another cup. There's a lot of people put paint in the cup, nothing on the canvas, go like that and flip it over and let their colours run that way, and then put a coloured white or whatever colour you want around that way. I don't mind this way. Sometimes a bit comes out the side, which is happening now. That's fine. I might even let a little bit out because you just get some lovely effects. I might torch that and see what happens. Yeah. Got some nice cells coming out there. And then I'm just going to let the whole thing come out. Let it settle for a moment. Torch it. Now, I know some people aim for lots and lots of cells. I don't, it's not my style particularly, so I'm quite happy to just get a few to give it some interest. And then it's a matter of manoeuvring it, remembering bringing it back to the centre so that you don't lose all of your cells. They can stretch out too far sometimes. And my aim is I don't really want anything on this corner or that corner. And just keep tilting it enough to make it interesting. I'm really loving this lacing effect that's happening here. Just bring it down a bit. I'm stretching that lacing out there because I want to keep that if I can. Looks like a fish at the moment. And just bring it back down a bit for those cells there. Let's give it a bit of a torch and see what happens. And what will happen is cells will continue to pop out as that dries. So we'll come back and have a look at that in a while. But I'm reasonably happy with that. And on a large scale canvas on my wall, I'd be more than happy with that. Now what I could do is I said I'd come back to it, but I could also wreck it and try something else. Right, I've decided I find it a little bit boring, so I've got myself a little piece of photo paper. I'm going to dip it in some yellow, and I'm actually going to I'm just going to, there you go, I'm much happier with that. That gives it a bit more character. Let that thick bit run off, and torch it again. And you could use gold, bronze, metallics, teals, any colour you want. So I'm much happier with that now. And we got some lovely cells popping up in that yellow, and they'll continue as it dries to see more. Right, so once again, if I saw that on a small scale, this is like an 8 by 10 canvas, yeah, okay, on a large canvas in my living room, I'd be very happy with that. I'll just put that aside for now, and then I will show you the Elise Fournier style. So Elise Fournier, absolutely look her up as an artist. She's absolutely brilliant. What I've got here, blank canvas, 8 by 10, and a little piece of blue tack. I'm going to put that blue tack about there, and then I haven't decided if I'll use I think I'll use the small ring on this. I might use the egg ring on a bigger canvas another time. So that just holds my ring in place. First of all, I'm going to put some white down. A bit in the middle, and then a bit around. Keep a bit in case I need it. And this time, I probably still want my yellow first, so I'm going to put that here. And some orange, but not directly on, just cover part of it, but don't blend the colours together completely. Don't put them on top completely of each other. A bit of red. And just for fun, I've actually got a bit of navy blue mixed up, so let's just put a bit of that at the end and see what happens. Now you can see sometimes bits of that come out like the other one. I'm actually going to let a little bit out. I'm going to take that blue tack out. Don't worry about these bits, doesn't matter. I'm going to let a little bit out. Might give that a torch. Get a little bit more out. And then I'm just going to let the whole thing out. Oh. No bubbles, no bits of gunk. And now it's a matter of tilting. If you feel you need to put some more paint there so you don't overstretch your cells, that's fine. If you're trying to cover your edges, you're just breaking your cells up. Bring that down. Seem to have lost a bit of our orange there, haven't we? That's alright. That might come back up in a minute. Bring it back. Oh, I'm liking those cells there. Just bring this over the edge. Don't worry about this bit here. I'll just put some white paint on it if I don't want it there when I've finished. Bring it back again. Down. Centre it more. Take it out to the sides a bit, stretch some of those cells out, but I don't want to stretch them too far. Bring them back the other way. And again. if we get a bit more interest happening up here. I'm really liking the red and yellow bit. The blue's decided it wants to play. That's alright, we'll let it. I'm going to put some more white on because we're stretching those cells too far. And this piece of blue really seems to want to be involved, so what can we do about that? Now, see, got some yellow on that. Come on, give it a bit of character. Just add some more white. Right. Once again, I can choose to leave it like that on a large piece. That would look really good. If I decide to, I can swipe it. And I think I will. So this time I decided I'm going to dip a piece of my photo paper in orange and do something with it. And that is bringing out some lovely cells. I might torch that. Very nice, I like those. Bring them out a bit because I'm wondering whether I'll just do one more swipe in one different colour. And I've chosen to go for the navy, and I'm going to bring it around this way, or this way. Try and make the eye. The eye likes to see things in odd numbers. Bring that out a bit. Red and blue are making some lovely cells. I want to keep those orange ones if I can, but I also want to keep the negative space. So I'm just trying to bring this down a little bit here without losing too many. Oh, I like those cells. They add a bit of interest, don't they? Just bring that down a bit. As I say, I haven't got any more white paint mixed up, so if I wanted to I could stop just like that and put some white paint there. Now, I know just for you, Shay Doncaster, you love to use a skewer, so that bit's for you. I am really happy with that. I'll see if I can get a very nice picture without tilting it too much. But there's some absolutely beautiful cells in there. And there's Shay's bit there with the skewer. Imagine that on your wall in a great big piece. Now, if you've got any questions after the video, put them in the replies after the video. Constructive feedback is most welcome. It'll help me improve. And if you'd like to see another style of painting, let me know which one and I'll attempt it. Do not even ask for a bloom. I have not mastered the bloom technique. And thank you for watching, and goodbye. See you next time. So this is the end result. These are still wet. Just going to have a bit of a zoom in here and there. Sorry about the shadows on some of the really interesting pieces. A bit of lacing down here. Over to this one. Really like these type of cells. Actually, I think Elise Fournier uses 1 part paint, 3 parts Floetrol or something like that to achieve that look. There really are some interesting bits in that one. And this is one that I did earlier, in fact this morning, and it looks navy, but it's actually turquoise, and the turquoise or aqua is absolutely beautiful. And you see, you can just hear we've just got some nice white cells popping through. Remember your size, especially if you use deep edge canvases. Just all really gentle on the sides and the boldness in the middle, and that's fine.